Hi there, my name is Maria. I'm a game designer and developer, and on this channel, I'm documenting my journey of breaking into the gaming industry. For the first video, I've been thinking about what piece of knowledge I can share that can be helpful and useful to a lot of people, and I immediately thought about time management or planning. I've been planning consistently for the past 6 years, and I dare say I am pretty good at it now. When I just started planning, I found out that a lot of techniques that other people are using do not really work for me, that I'm left with half empty planners and a big list of goals that never meant to become true. And over the years, I perfected a system that works like a charm for me personally, that allows me to reach all of the goals that I didn't even know were possible before, like, moving into another country, getting into very cool opportunities. And it also helps me to balance a lot of things as an indie developer who also studies full times, work 20 hours, applying for a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities, have a pretty healthy life work balance, and taking care of oneself. Before even getting into the technical aspect of writing down goals, I believe that effective planning starts with understanding who you are and what your lifestyle is. What I think a lot of people tend to not notice is how different everyone is and how different things work for different people. I think that's a great metaphor of how people utilizing their energy resources differently is candles and lighters. I'm pretty sure that I saw it somewhere else, but I genuinely cannot remember where. I imagine that there are people who are like candles. They do have one candle a day, and it's the candle of pretty much the same length. They light it in the beginning of the day, do all of the tasks that they planned, and at around maybe like 9 p.m., early evening, candle burns down. In my experience, candle people have very clear routines. They do the same things consistently every day at around the same time, and for them, it makes a lot of sense to use a daily planner, maybe to put 3 tasks a day to focus on, maybe to even plan by hour. And it's great for them, but I also know that I'm a completely different type. The second type of people who approach their energy utilization differently are people with lighters. And they do not have a lighter a day, but instead a lighter a week or so. This lighter obviously also have a limited amount of resources, but you can light it up at any time. There are days when you wake up and you cannot light up this lighter at all. It's just not going to work. And there are other days where you can persevere through evening hours to get a big chunk of your work down. Maybe sometimes you have an inspiration to use this lighter and you just like easily getting all of your tasks done. So with the lighter, there's basically no visible system. It's very chaotic, but it is a reality for people with disturbed routines, right? People who do not work a very stable job or work many different jobs, have many different hobbies, gigs, and stuff like this. It's also very true for folks who have chronic health conditions. You have to accept that you just approach your planning time management differently and take the most advantage out of it. After realizing that I fall completely in the second group of people, people with lighters, I realized that I need to create my own approach so that it is gentle, this lighter does not burn out, and I can use it consistently every week, just being intentional with what I'm doing. And especially as an indie developer, consistently incorporate my independent game dev tasks every day so that I do what I like to do. And also make the most out of the little time that I have to still achieve my goals. The best way for me to do it is just to get an empty planner with like bullet points or lines, customize it to myself, and use it. For me, it doesn't work to have like multiple planners or like a separate Trello board or something for my indie project. It all should be in this book, kind of one system that helps you to manage your life better. So let's start from the beginning of what I put in my planner. I start with "Oh, the apocalypse is nigh." That's beside the point, but I do like to put a silly quote in the beginning of my journal just to kind of set up the year vibe. I got this year's from comment section, and I got my last one from like a Facebook soup lover group, and the third one from one of the TikToks. And then we go straightly to the yearly goals. I actually like to do them first in the previous year journal because this way I can kind of analyze what still needs work, where my priorities were, where I didn't put enough attention profession, but would love to. Envision what your professional or personal life would look like ideally. Where would you want to be? And what would you want your everyday routine to be like? And go from there. So after I write all this wide range of opportunities for myself, like all this 85, 100 wishes, I sit and analyze what do I want to focus on the next year, what I want to prioritize. And usually it comes down to five goals in five spheres of life. Well, technically four spheres of life and five is kind of miscellaneous other category. For example, for me right now, my four categories is work, independent game dev. So one of my long-term projects that I'm making and another one that I plan to make. Studies, which is both my university assignments and self-development. I would love to learn how to play chess. I would love to be better at Spanish. So, and also the self care goals, taking care of myself, but also of my social life, relationship. And the fifth category is obviously everything else. For your 25 goals, you can just write them down. This year, I wanted to do something fun, so I made this little bingo because how fun it is to have 24 goals for 2024. Even if you achieved five, but they are in the bingo, it would bring you a lot of satisfaction. So I thought, why not? And what is important is that for each category of your life, you would assign a little icon. So how it looks like in a spread, you don't just have like circles or rectangles for kind of ticking your goals, but you have all these different icons that you can see. Then you have something that I wrote down as affirmation, but basically it's more like a general idea of where I want this specific sphere of life to be by the end of the year. So, for example, I say I'm working in a big, well recognized company as a game designer and earn big checks. And the five goals that correspond to this big vision is, visit game related conferences, attend meetups and network, move out of city to a place where there are more opportunities. For me, I do dream about California, get a game design job, and possibly also start a small RC business as a second stream of income. Repeat for each of the categories, and you have your goals. Another thing that is important for me is that not all of these goals are long term. I can achieve all of these goals throughout the year. I don't have to wait. I feel like if you just plan things like be healthier, go to the gym, what I think would happen, you would start incorporating all these healthy habits, but the goal would still not be achieved, right? This is kind of the goal which you can only say was successful or not successful by the end of the year, and you do need this sense of achievement throughout the year. So I do have only one line of goals which are long term, like play 25 games, read 25 books, cook more nourishing food, and I will remember them, but I would also have something to achieve in January, February, March, basically throughout the year. When I'm done with my yearly goals, I do quarterly goals, which is the next 3 months or 12 weeks. Apparently, there is a book about a 12-week year. I've been just honestly doing it intuitively because there are 52 weeks in a year. You can divide it by like 3 months for 12 weeks plus 1 week for rest, which makes a lot of sense. Anyways, I decide what I want to focus on each quarter. There would be at least one goal from each of the categories, but I also realistically understand that I would focus heavily on like one area within the 3 months. For example, now I'm graduating and it makes sense for me to focus on my thesis project and on finding a job. And from these quarterly goals, I will be planning the tasks for each of the weeks. So it's all like a branching tree structure, right? For example, for a year, I have a big goal of winning a significant game dev award. So for quarterly goals, I research, okay, which festivals, competitions have their submission open right now. Let's see, okay, it's Indicate and Games for Change. And obviously for each of them, I need to improve my game to a certain degree and to get through all of the, I don't know, checklists. So one of my tasks for a week can be like, I don't know, put the lights in the level for a trailer and then maybe edit the trailer or like edit the sound for a trailer and at the end make a submission. And the last component of my planner is biweekly spreads. Each planner spread represents 2 weeks. So per month, there are 4 pages, two spreads. I know that it doesn't go exactly within the numbers of days you have per month, but that's good because it gives you a little bit of slack time to catch up with everything. And then what I do is when I receive a task or when I think about what I need to do, I just write it down immediately in this planner. The whole purpose of the planning is to get rid of your mental load. If you have everything written down, you don't have to worry about what you need to achieve right now, like what are you missing out, right? It's all in the planner and it all makes sense. Yes, a lot of people think that it's kind of controversial or not super effective to have a giant list of tasks versus, I don't know, an organized Notion board or like a day-to-day plan with like 3 tasks. But that's what works for me because I open the spread and I don't feel pushed into doing something. I can just choose the activities based on what my current mood is, what my current energy level is, see the big picture of which tasks you have based on the little icons and categories. It's also almost scientifically proved to be more effective to time block versus having some separate tasks for the day. So, for example, if I have different tasks, one of them being to turn in the essay at my university, and the second is to, I don't know, write a proposal for an indie festival submission. All of these activities requires the same focus for you. That's the same activity. And when you start doing one task of writing something, it would be easier for you to complete the other writing tasks. So kind of choosing out of my spread and time blocking different tasks for every day helps me be the most effective and basically complete my tasks in the least amount of effort and time. Another thing that I hear a lot and I genuinely hate is do the hardest task, the most difficult task at the beginning of the day, eat the frog. I don't like this concept and I do like frogs. So I prefer to first get into the mood. When I start with simple, small tasks, I then have more energy to do all of my big, difficult tasks. For me, the most productive stage of my day is 8 p.m. plus. Everyone is already doing their own things, no one's working, I'm pretty much in my own zone, alone. I already did some sort of responsibilities or chores throughout the day, like mechanism working, me doing stuff. So I put the most difficult task at the end of the day and at the end of the week. And honestly, when you see that only a couple of tasks are missing from your list, it would be easier for you to rest, right? Just gamifying your activities. And the last important thing to note is that perfectionism has no place in this planner. You have a spread and you have a flexibility of completing this task wherever you feel like your lighter can be turned on. But once you move the spread, maybe 1 to like a few days can pass where you can look back to the spread. If you feel like there are too many things that are left from the previous week, just analyze them, reprioritize them. If there is something that clearly is too big to be handled within 2 weeks, just spread it into small tasks. Or honestly, just cross it out. That's totally okay. Very important to maintain your balance between having the right arrangement of options, not feeling too overwhelmed with the amount of tasks. That's basically how my planner works. I also have some additional spreads. I'm tracking all of the books I've read, games I've played, because I just feel like it's important if you're working in the entertainment industry to keep up with the current trends. And I also have a journal which I write in inconsistently, like no strings attached. Just if I feel like writing something down, I do write it. It's better than writing nothing at all. And the end of the journal I just used for making notes throughout my day-to-day interactions. That's just one book you need. Basically one thing to turn your life into a system. So that's basically everything I wanted to share for today. Let me know if it was useful or not, and don't be ashamed to give this video a like or even subscribe to my channel. Have a great rest of your day and bye.